Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, November 16th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts, how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get started, just real quick, want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live class that I'm offering later this week. So if you're liking what you see throughout the course of the video and you're wanting to learn more about this tool and how it can be used to build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description box. If you're watching at my site, then there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click on. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And if you're wanting to learn more about this tool, then definitely get signed up for the free class. First in here, ticker symbol TLRY. And before I get into all the stocks, a couple quick clarification points. First off, I will be doing the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks represents 30 minutes worth of time. And then second, the market is still open for a while. So that candle, as recalled again, will be moving for the various stocks. And I like to do this just because sometimes we can capture some really entertaining action. But it's also from an overall standpoint, the market's close enough to being closed where the levels I talk about will still pertain here headed into Tuesday. So just want to get those out of line. But TLRY just picking up where it did last week in the form of these higher lows and then higher highs. So from a trend building perspective, this is the exact type of action that you would want, and really just goes to show that, when things are in uptrends, for the people that bought that pullback right there, they're rewarded today, which brings about the question of, okay, well, look at this. Another pullback has happened. Now, just because last time it, proved to be profitable to buy the pullback, unfortunately, trading's not that easy. There are no guarantees. We're for sure guaranteed buy the pullback here and you will make money. But is it at least plausible? Is it rational to think that buying a stock within an uptrend that's pulled back and previously when other, in previous pullbacks has made money, is it rational to think that maybe the pullback here will lead to making money? Yeah, that's absolutely not a guaranteed thought process, but a plausible thought process to have. So if you are somebody that likes to buy pullbacks within uptrends, in fact, let me squeeze this down a little bit more. You can see this one has been a very nice uptrend the past couple of weeks, and you once again have a pullback right there. If you do like to play breakouts, well, then you have a very well-defined breakout area, as you can see up here at essentially the $14 mark. But earlier on in the day, several occasions, both there and then a couple more times right there, price tried to get up through that level and couldn't quite do it. So from more of a breakout standpoint, $14 is going to be that main level. But like I said, if you do like to play the pullbacks within uptrends, you have yourself a nice uptrend here, got yourself the pullback, and if you believe that it can, make another move back up and keep on with the trend, well, then yeah, this would be a great opportunity. Next one, NIO, and a pretty crazy day today just because things were looking so interesting going into the weekend here. On Friday, made the big gap up. Did pull back, sure, but then all of a sudden started to show some nice upwards momentum there. Now, in hindsight, you can sit there and be like, oh, that was the bear flag all the way. And yeah, that's easy to see in hindsight, but you can see right there, opening 30 minutes, just terrible. Next 30 minutes, terrible. And kept on dropping and dropping and dropping. Now, yeah, all of a sudden you do have a little bit of a bounce right here. But, is this a dead cat bounce? Is there, not any real sort of genuine strength behind it? I mean, nobody knows for sure, but if you're thinking that way, I think most people could understand, well, yeah, I can see how you might be thinking this is a dead cat bounce that's getting ready to roll back over, because the fact of the matter is right now, there is a lot of downwards pressure that has shown up, which once again, are no guarantees. So that doesn't guarantee that this thing's going to roll back over. But would anybody, if it did roll back over, would people be saying, wow, I didn't see that coming? I don't think anybody would be thinking that way. So if this does continue to bounce, though, the main areas of resistance are going to be those two main moving averages, pink line being the 200 period moving average, purple line being the 50 period moving average, and both are basically valued at the same thing. So let's just call it $41.30 being that near-term area of resistance. If the price does head down, then yeah, you still have this overall level down here at 38.85. But the level that was revealed today, and nothing fancy behind it other than the fact that that's just simply where the bleeding finally stopped, was right down there at the $40 mark. So yeah, $40 is certainly going to be that preferable level of support. But if that doesn't quite hold up, then 38.85 would be the next key level to watch closely. Next one, AMC, and a very, very nice start to the week. Things were doing a whole lot of consolidating, which I talked about on Friday, and just said, this consolidation, sure, it's not necessarily exciting, but it is still healthy because at least it's going sideways, at least it's appearing to be, trying to chip away in some sort of base. But today's where the exciting action showed up. You had that, resistance line right there. Finally got the break of it right there, and the price has essentially been, moving through the breakout the remainder of the day. So a very nice way to start off the week. I'm going to go ahead and use this level of support now, as that level is no longer really relevant given where the price is now. But one of the newest areas of support, what I would call the ideal level at 41.50. Ideal meaning, you know, if I ask Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute best going forward? Certainly if the price can stay above 41.50, but if the price falls below it, that doesn't mean the chart's ruined or destroyed or anything like that. But I mean, if the price can stay above it, that would be a great sign of strength. For more so the overarching standpoint, now watch that purple line there. As I mentioned earlier, the 50-period moving average. And as the name implies, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So moral of the story here is that moving forward, as long as the price stays above that purple line, as the line itself moves higher and higher, then the bulls are still in full ownership of this current move. As far as levels of resistance are concerned, next key level to watch very closely, going to be up there right around 44.50. So that'll be a key level to watch moving forward. But anyway, look at it. Very nice start to the new week. Still 4 days left on the week. Next one here, GGPI, and a very interesting setup as, you know, clearly today, massive volume came in. Got the nice move here, but now you have this pullback. But within even the context of this pullback, check out that big old green candle of that 30-minute session right there. So moving forward, it makes sense that, okay, all right, maybe this 30-minute candle is the leading indicator that, yeah, the strength is back, and this is going to make another move back to the upside. So if you like to play pullbacks, and this one does now have a very interesting pullback perspective, from a resistance and trend line standpoint, the level that stands out to me right there around that trend line, which let's call it around $15.50, give or take a little bit. But if the price gets up there, then at that point you would think that this trend line has been, you know, fully cleared above. So if you do like to play breakouts, you know, then that trend line there presents a very interesting level. And once again, for those people that like to play pullbacks, a very straightforward level of support that was formed today, right down there around $14.15. I mean, you can see earlier on in the day, price bounced right off it. And then this pullback here, 2 candles in a row, once again, bounced right off of it. So like I said, from a pullback standpoint, keep an eye on that. And this is what I mean by keeping it. So as you can see here, the markets are open still. That candle is getting a little bit green there. So, you know, if I stalled along long enough, maybe we'd see some sort of breakout of that trend line. But I want to keep us moving. So when you do watch this video, ask yourself, where's the price now at relative to that trend line? Maybe you got the breakout of it. Maybe this thing did close above 15.50. If it did, well, now you know that moving forward, you're in the middle of a whole new breakout, and it becomes a question at that point of, oh, wow, it's broken out. Is this the start of something even bigger? So that would be taking shape for a very exciting Tuesday. But overall, these are going to be the key levels to watch. Next one, CREX, and kind of similar setup to what we talked about. The difference being on the one we just looked at, you know, there's that 30-minute candle that had a good solid green candle. In this situation, not really. This thing is continuing to pull back. But within the grand scheme of things, you know, it still hasn't even come down and approached that other former bounce point from earlier on in the day, which is right here around $2.50. Which you can see right there is where the buyer stepped in and then eventually got a very nice bounce in the upwards direction. So pointer being, if this thing wants to pull back more, then it would still be a situation where, once more, nothing guaranteed, but at least is it valid? Is it rational to think that with an overall uptrend, you know, with a big move up, that if this pulls back down to that area where, it, again, cough, cough, it has bounced before, to think that it could bounce off there again, is that a valid, plausible thought process? Absolutely. So I think a lot of people are going to be watching 250 moving forward. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, you have that former support right there, which would now be considered an area of resistance up there at $3.20. So if you like to play more of kind of reversals, then $3.20 becomes a very interesting level. But for the pullback players, yeah, $2.50, definitely a level that I think a lot of people will be watching. Next one here, LCID, and this should be very quick just because there's not a whole lot of things to talk about that are new other than just a big update and kind of confirmation point. But for those of you that have watched past videos, hopefully remember me talking about this channel, that the prices, you know, continue to been chopping in between, top of the channel being at that 46. And I'm focusing on the top of the channel because you can see that once again, surprise, surprise, that opening 30 minutes, price got right up to the top of the channel and then got rejected back down. Now, when I say rejected, I don't mean that in a severely bearish way. Had the price gone up there, got rejected, and then come down to the bottom of the channel and crash down through there. Okay, at that point, that becomes a very nasty situation, but that's just not what happened at all. I mean, it came back down actually and found some support right at that 50-period moving average. But the moral of the story here is that nothing has really changed other than the confirmation that, yeah, for whatever reason, $46 is a very stubborn level and will continue to be that key part to watch moving forward. So sideways channel still fully intact, was tested today. The bears once again held strong, but you got to think that there's going to be that many more people watching $46 moving forward. So let's see if the price can make another move back up there and potentially finally get the true breakout. Next one, RIVN, and the beast mode momentum continues. Did this one a few days ago last week, and that's when, this area here was a level of resistance, but you can see price broke above it. Classic example though, broke above it. Resistance tends to act as support, so first 30 minutes came down, back tested that support, hovered right above that former resistance, and then has continued to break out here. And I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of these lines as they've served their purpose. But what makes this very interesting right now, and if you're a breakout player, yeah, a bit too late, but there is this breakout that's occurred. So pretty much all late morning, early afternoon, there was this downtrending trend line that had formed, but now right there you can see it's broken up above it. So now moving forward, it's a question of, okay, is this the start of yet again another push to the upside? And you know, that's a good question to be asking, because think about it. You can ask, is this the start of something bigger if nothing happens in the first place? But in this situation, it did happen. It broke that trend line. So now it makes sense of, okay, is this the start of something all new to the upside? And another quick kind of little information point that can help answer that question is, well, let's just see if the price can now get up here above that 152 mark, which would be another signal that, yeah, that trend line break is leading to another, phase of momentum, we can call it. If you do like to, okay, I like to still just play pullbacks. Well, there's now a very well-defined area of support there at the 138.75 mark. So keep an eye on that. Or if you just like to play trends, whether that be breakouts or pullbacks, then it's hard to argue into this one right now. And as far as the trend is concerned, the thing just keeps on putting in those higher highs and higher lows, and that's the name of the game when it comes to trend building. So keep an eye on this one. Next one here, BTB, and this is one of these where, I like to try to put these in every now and then, but there can be opportunity and ugly, and there's no doubt about it. This is a very ugly looking chart when you factor in the price actually gapped up, and to think that there were some poor souls that bought right there on the gap up, and then from there basically collapsed down. But the location of where it collapsed makes this a very interesting level. As you can see back here through the history of things, this has been a former area of support down around the $1.75 mark. This was essentially the bottom part of this consolidation right there before it finally made a nice move. And you can see that once again, the price essentially bounced right off that level. Now, does that mean that for sure guaranteed it's going to bounce again? Absolutely not. Maybe this thing continues to crash, but that's why risk management is so important as a trader. But the flip side of that coin is, yeah, sure, it could keep crashing. But the other side of the coin is, or I don't know, who knows, maybe history repeats itself and you get another nice bounce in the upwards direction. So from a risk versus reward standpoint, you have a nice little setup here. But again, that setup is all going to be revolving around your ability to manage risk. If the price does start to bounce back upwards, then I think the level that a lot of people will be watching, and potentially you'll probably have some shorts with stop losses hiding up above it, is going to be that 50-period moving average there, at $2.12. So watch that as the main area of resistance. But if you do like to play, charts that are looking pretty ugly, however, still might have some opportunity buried within the ugly, then I'd say get this one on your watch list. Next one here, PROG. Done this one several times, but it's been a while. But after today's price movement, definitely have to get this updated here, because it goes back to the question that I mentioned in a previous one of, okay, you can throw out the question of, all right, wow, is this a start of something bigger? But before you can ever even ask that question, something needs to first occur in the first place. And we got that quote unquote something here, right? There was this pretty nasty downtrending move, but today got good solid volume, got the break up through it. So now it just becomes a question of, okay, yeah, is this the start of a bigger reversal? And to give more context, maybe if you've never seen PROG, this thing has moved, and it's moved very big in the past, has made some very nice overall uptrends. So who knows, maybe this is some sort of attempted reversal point, especially when you consider where it ultimately bounced from, which was right here at a level that it's bounced from a couple of times before, both there, and now seems to once again be bouncing from here. So can this thing, make another move in the upwards direction and continue? Like I said, no guarantees, but is it a plausible question to be asking? It absolutely is. So you're going to want to keep a close eye on that dynamic. Now, if there is going to be any sort of further movement to the upside, then right now it's all about that pink line there, that 200-period moving average, which you can see right now, not shocking, but has been acting as resistance. So keep an eye on, let's just call it $3.50 moving forward. But again, very nice way to start the week. So is this the start of something bigger? Let's see what happens over the next couple of days. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and I've been talking about this one being in the sideways channel, and today and this morning, things are looking very, very sketchy because the price did come down to that bottom part of the channel at 1,000, break through it. However, to give credit where credit is due, the bulls did a very good job of doing damage control, because, right, it broke that support, started to get really, really nasty, and then just like that, the bulls were like, wait a second, and then it just went sideways. So like I said, as nasty as it was looking, you got to give credit. And then to give even more credit, then all of a sudden the bulls were like, you know what, let's get the party going back upwards. And that 30-minute session, price went straight up. And now it is pulling back here a little bit. But the key dynamic here is that this was a pretty significant level. I mean, a psychological level of just 1,000. And to think how nasty things were looking, I mean, basically a $20-ish drop relatively quick, and then to have it just go sideways and then recover. Maybe, just maybe, is that the sign that, this whole downwards trend is finally over? That's clearly speculation, but I don't think it's too crazy to be asking that now, given how nasty things are looking, and then how just almost in the blink of an eye went sideways and now got a bit of a bounce in the upwards direction. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and adjust this level down, because that's very clearly where the buyer stepped in around the 980 mark. As far as levels of resistance, that 50-period moving average right there is going to be one. And then from an overarching standpoint, 1105, but I'm probably getting a little bit too far ahead of myself, because let's just first see, hurdle number one is, can the price continue to maintain above 980? And then second, can it get above that purple line? Those are going to be the main levels and main questions to keep an eye on over the next couple of days. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, I do want to personally invite you to get signed up for the class. So if you like what you saw, you want to learn more about this tool of technical analysis and how it can help you to be used to build consistency as a trader, like I said, the free class will be this Thursday, November 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern, so definitely get signed up for it. And then as far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to make these videos, then please help me out with some feedback, and it's basic feedback. Hit the like button, leave a basic comment. It could be you saying hi, a ticker that you traded today, a smiley face, but those two things, hitting the like button, leaving a basic comment, communicate to me that you enjoy the videos. As long as I know you enjoy this format, then I have no problem at all continuing to put in the time and effort to make them. And again, if you want to learn more about charts, how to use them to build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the class. So hopefully everybody had a good start to the week. Everybody take care, and I'll see you back tomorrow.